happy birthday.
Hi, and welcome to Kimberly Knit for Brains. Thank you so much for joining me today, because you know what? Today is my birthday, and I'm feeling pretty good about it. Kind of a milestone. I'm 55. Whew. But I'm excited. That's okay. That's all right. I feel really good. Went to see my doctor, and she's like, okay, you're looking good. Went to my hairdresser, took care of some of the grays, having lunch with my mom today. My hubby, we went to up kind of north from where we live, up into Paso Robles, which is sort of like Central California coast, kind of halfway between Los Angeles and San Francisco, if you don't know where that is. It's wine country, but it's just real casual, easy going, flowy. We love it. We go every year. We've been going probably for the last 4 years. We either go on our anniversary, or lately we've been going on my birthday. Our anniversary is in August, our dating anniversary. So we thought we would try out the September, the birthday month. And it's still really hot. But there's music, and there's wine, and there's beer, and there's kids and horses, and there's just like fun. So we went there this weekend. Anyways, while I was gone, I got this. This is my happy birthday gift to me, because these guys are a little bit pricey. This is the Furls Crochet Hook. The one I got was called Virgo. Hello. I like it. It's very pretty. Of all the ones that I saw, and this is Furls, F-U-R-L-S, and of course I will include the link. I probably would have chosen from the Galaxy collection, because I'm just more like rainbows and unicorns and mystical looking than the astrology collection, but I actually really do like this one. And one of my subscribers has been raving about these, so I thought, all right, I'm going to give it a... As a matter of fact, I think I even mispronounced it. I think I called it Furla in the video, and I apologize for that. I'm just going to put it right out there. I'm going to be real. Furla is something totally different. It's another kind of product. So this is Furls, F-U-R-L-S. These are wooden crochet hooks. So they're all one piece. There is no plastic. There's nothing synthetic on this. It feels really good. As you can see, there's a wider grip down here, so it's easy to hold on to. One of the things, if you've watched my videos, that's a big stickler for me is, does it have a good point here? Can it get into the stitches, right? And not split the fibers? And does it have a really nice, basically, does it have a good head, a good shaped head? So a good strong hook in here where you can catch the stitches, and then something up here that's nice and pointy and not round where it goes into the stitches. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, let me see if I can find one that's, aha. Okay, this one is just your basic, like your Susan Bates hook. And as you can see, if you look at the difference, see how this is a lot rounder, right? So it's gonna have a harder time getting up underneath those stitches. See how this is a lot more smooth and slanted and sharp, thinner maybe even. Also look at the head here. See how this one is nice and sharp inside? This one's a little bit more rounded and shallow. So they're fine, but you're gonna have a harder time catching your stitches and also not splitting your fibers. So if you're going to be using a really light yarn that maybe has a lot of halo, something really light like this is a fingerling, that might be a problem. With this one, it's not going to be so much. This one, it might be a little bit more so. I am actually using, this is Lion brand, and this is called Touch of Yak. It is discontinued, sorry, but you might be able to find it on the third party sites. They have other stuff, but I've heard that Yak is really, really a nice soft yarn, and it's only, this is the little tag, it's 90% acrylic and 10% Yak. So it's affordable if you want to be diving into that natural fiber, because I mean, let's face it, it's 90% acrylic. But that also makes it, besides being affordable, it also makes it more wash and wear friendly, like if you're going to make a scarf or a sweater or something like that. So I've got, I think, 5 skeins of this. I think I might end up making a sweater, not sure yet, but I did buy it on clearance from Lion's brand a while back, and so I wanted to give this a try. So just gonna give it some. How much fun is it just to sit here and make videos about crochet or yarn or knitting or fiber or any of that kind of stuff? I really enjoy it. it's a lot of fun. All right, so this is a size H, so it's a 5mm hook, which is a pretty standard size hook. All right, so let's just see here. So this yarn does tend to have a lot of looser fibers, which means that it would have a tendency to split. I mean, I can even look at it here, but this hook is not making it split, so that's a good thing. Now, one of the other little, one of my other pet peeves is how it is marked on the hook. In other words, what the size is, whether it's an H or what millimeter size it is. These are also color coded. So again, if you grab the green, you know it's a 5. If you grab the blue, it's going to be a 7 or whatever the blue is. So that's nice. These are engraved into the wood. So the label is engraved into the wood. So that's going to be pretty hard to rub off. And it's nice and big, and it's embossed, right? It's engraved, so it's not just like a rub-on. What do I mean by that? I've talked about some of the other hooks that I have. I have all my good ones up here. These are the Prim hooks, and these are stamped into the rubber. I did a video on this one, so you should check this out. Check out the link. But that's a big thing, because as you move, as you do a lot of projects, these hooks are moving through yarn. They're running up and down in your hands, which have natural oils or maybe dirt and things like that. And so these labels can get rubbed off. And if you don't know what you're working with, or if you have 55-year-old eyes or older like I do, it can be a little tricky. So that's a good thing for me. That's a big selling point. I have to say, I was very impressed with their website, and not including crochet hooks. They also have yarns. They have kits that you can purchase. And these hooks are a little pricey. This one was $24. That's a lot to pay for a hook. But they do have some kits where you can buy a hook, and then they give you like 2 different kinds of yarn. So enough to make a project. And I believe it also comes with a pattern. And those were like $34. So that's not a huge investment to give something a try. They don't, as far as I could see, sell collections. Like you can't buy all the galaxy hooks or all of the astrology hooks or something like that. At least not right now. Now, my subscriber said, wait for their Black Friday sale. Oh dear. And that is going to be coming up. So I'm going to be doing a lot of Black Friday deals and sales and things that are coming up. So far, I'm really enjoying this. I like it very much. Stitches are very easy to grab a hold of. Turn around, I'll do one more. It moves real easily and smooth through the hook, or through the yarn rather. So it's kind of a matter of you get what you pay for, right? I could go out to a mass market craft store and I could buy a set of hooks. And if you're just starting out, if that's the way you want to go, that's fine. And you could probably buy a set for maybe less than 20 or get them on Amazon, and that's completely fine. But I think once you really start honing in on your craft, you really start to appreciate the value of your tools, right? As my husband always says, right tools for the right job. So I have become much more, not critical, but more specific, if you will, about the tools that I use, the yarns that I use. When I first started out, and I thought I was gonna join a knitting and a crochet club at the local library. I thought, well, that's a great way to meet people and learn a new task. That was 10 years ago. Ask me if I ever actually went to the meeting, and I would tell you a big fat no. But I ran out to Michael's and I bought a bunch of yarn. I didn't know anything about yarn. I didn't know what I was looking for as far as weights, what was good for what, how to match up your hook with your fiber, with your yarn, what kind of patterns. I literally knew nothing. I had never picked up a hook, and I had never picked up basically any yarn. My husband probably thinks, man, those were the days, because before I got into crocheting and knitting a good 10 years ago, I didn't have 3 rooms of yarn, but now I do. So he probably, I honestly cannot remember what it was like before I got into this. Isn't that funny? Do you remember what you were doing when you first got into crochet or knitting. Maybe a grandmother taught you, or a friend, or something like that. My mom used to always crochet and knit, and she was always very handy and still is. But she says that I have now surpassed her as far as both crocheting and knitting, because I do it all the time. I've got a crochet project on the go pretty much all the time. I have a knitting project on the go, and then now, of course, that did, if you were noticing, that did split the yarn, but it wasn't bad. I was able to resurrect it, and it does move pretty easily through the stitches. I'm actually happy with this. Plus, I like the feel of this yarn too. This is the Touch of Yak by Lion Brand. But between the weaving and the crochet and the knitting, I don't really have a lot of free time. And of course, doing all the videos to show you what I got going on, I don't have a lot of free time. But that's okay. And this is the space I've created. My little space here, looking out the window, watching the birds, looking at nature. If it rains, I got my little tea and my little aroma candle over here. So this is my space. But I also go downstairs and I crochet, and then I weave, and the weaving is kind of a big deal. That's actually taking up a whole other space in my house. Anyways, back to these hooks. I have done, this is I think my 4th row, and it works very well. It moves very easily through the yarn. I believe that the subscriber who told me about these needles, or crochet hooks rather, said that it was really good for her hands because her hands were arthritic, or she had some issues. And that is something that you really need to be aware of, especially if you're just starting out with crocheting and or knitting. I know I said, you just go out to your local store, but the way the hook feels in your hand and the way that your hand grows around it is going to make a huge difference in your comfort and whether or not you're going to continue. Because with these thinner hooks, such as like this one here, if it didn't have the polymer clay on the end, that gives a little bit of width, so that's good. But it's hard for your hand to hold when it's just really thin, right? It doesn't sit as comfortable in your hand. And so that's going to lead to a lot of fatigue. And if you have fatigue, that can lead to like misuse and overuse of the wrist, possible injuries to the wrist, possible injuries to the hand as you're gripping it too tight like this. So if you have arthritis or tight joints, that could be a problem. So it is important to try to find a good, if you're going to start out, maybe use just one of those just to get the general principle. But then once you kind of get going on any of your large projects, it really is important, I think, to find a hook that works for you, and then to move forward with that. So I have all of my favorites. I do like this Furls. As a matter of fact, I will be returning to the website, and I will be returning or purchasing more, probably during the Black Friday sale, as was suggested. Oh, I really love this. But also some of my other go-tos, and I'll include the link over. You can see some of my other reviews. I really did like the Prims. I tried those out last week and really liked those a lot. These are the Prims. These are from Germany. Okay, this has a silicone handle, so it's a little bit grippy. This is wood, so it's a very polished, smooth wood. Excuse me. So it might be, if you want something a little bit grippier, maybe you want something like this. That's not a problem for me. My only concern with these guys is that as you continue to use them, the handle might discolor because it's a silicone. So it could discolor if you have dirt on your hands or oils or even some of the fiber. Sometimes I've noticed some of my yarns the dye will come off on these. So might be a problem down the road. It might just start to look a little bit, worn. It remains to be seen what's going to happen with these guys. These are all handmade. They're handmade. I believe they come from Oregon, but they are all handmade. So these are really more of like an artisan hook. Beautiful, beautiful hook. They are a little bit on the pricier side, but then again, you get what you pay for. They're not mass produced. They're made here in the United States, if that's something that's important to you. I have noticed they even have like little sets, like a wooden display that you could put all your little crochet hooks in. So, this might be something that I'm going to have to look into. It is my birthday after all, but I might wait until Black Friday to do any real serious shopping. But, you know, $24 for a hook that you're going to use a lot is not a bad deal. Again, if you are going to spend that kind of money, you get them, you know, one at a time. I would imagine, I would suggest perhaps that you get a more of a mainstream size, like a 5 or maybe a 7 or something like that, as opposed to something that's really small that maybe you're not going to be getting quite as much. So just an idea. Again, this is the Furls, F-U-R-L-S hooks, and they're wooden hooks. I'll include the link below. This is the Virgo, so this is in their astrology line, and they also have the Galaxy, which are beautiful mystical wood colors and different things like that. I'll include the link to the company website. You can buy them there. They even have a deal where if you sign up and, you know, send your email in, they'll give you like a 10% off or something like that. And then again, they do have those kits, which I mentioned, which is really nice. It was $34 and you get 2 skeins of yarn and then a hook that you get to choose yourself, whatever kind you want. So that's good. I remember there was one called a cherry, which was beautiful. There was a blue, which I believe is the Aquarius. And then this was the green for Virgo. And then the astrology set as well. So, yeah, I like this a lot. I really like the yarn as well. I'll include the link for both. I don't think this yarn is still available. I think it's discontinued, but I'll include the link for Lions brand. Maybe there's something else out there. Okay, big thumbs up on this one. I'm going to give these for the hook, right? So let's say if I were to give it 5 crochet hooks as in like the best, right? I would give it 1 for the tip here, 1 for the little inside of the hook, 1 for the grip, 1 for the feeling of solid. I would probably give this a solid 5 out of 5. I don't think that it's going to wear with age down here, so I think this is going to be one of my top-notch favorites. There you go. That's my review on the Furls Crochet Hook. I'm Kimberly with Knit for Brains, signing off because I'm going to go and celebrate on my birthday. But I will be back soon. Thanks so much for subscribing and watching and commenting. I try to make sure I reach out to every single person because it really means a lot to me that you took the time to comment. So I'm going to make sure that I take the time to give a thoughtful response. Happy birthday to all the other Virgos out there. If it's your birthday, if it's your birthday month, comment below and let me know. Thanks again for watching. I'll see you soon.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday.